Hey guys, this is a quick start video for Deep Solver. We're going to go through how to use the software, some of the bare basics to get started. So click on the custom solution button and you'll end up here. This is the Smart Tree Builder tool. If you've used a solver like PioSolver before, you can use the custom tool. It gives you a pretty similar feel. But we're going to use the Smart tool. It's very visual. And it saves you time since you don't actually have to input any ranges. All you have to do is put in the position or the spot that you're looking at. So let's say you're playing MTTs, you would select MTT, click on the stack depth, and then click on the position. So for example, cutoff versus button, and change between free bet pot or single raise pot, tweak the bet sizes. So in this example, let's just look at a 2.5x spot, single raise pot, button versus cutoff. And you can see the ranges are populated immediately. So if you wanted to tweak this slightly, let's say you think that the cutoff player is a little bit tighter, you could remove some combos. So for example, click a combo to add or remove it. Let's say I think that the player I'm against is a little bit on the tight side. I'll remove some hands like Queen 6 and King 3 suited. I'll remove some of these offsuit Jack 9, Queen 9 type hands. So they're a little bit tighter. And I can either save this for the future by clicking the save button and inputting a name for it, or I can just close it. So I'm going to close it here. There's other things that you can do, but you don't really need to worry about all of the other stuff right now. You just want to start building your first sim. So click next and choose a board texture. In this case, I'm just going to use a random board. So we click random. We've got Queen Jack 6. And now for the bet sizes. So if you click on the Smart Tree Builder, you'll be brought up with this menu, and this shows you the bet size options for each player. So button has 2 sizes here, cutoff has 2 sizes here. If you hover over the bet size, you can add in an additional bet sizing. So let's say I wanted to add in pot, I can put that in here and put this in for cutoff as well. Set the free bet size to all in. You can also add a 4 bet size. So I'm just going to set it up like this. And other few things you can do, all-in threshold. This just decides when you can go all in. So for example, add all in only if less than 500% of the pot. That will tell you, okay, if the pot is less than 5 SPR, we can go all in. So pretty basic stuff here. And let's say you wanted to save this range, you can click Save Tree, give it a name. It will pop up in your saved trees for the future, and you can just click on them and select something that you've ran before. So if you were going to do this for a bunch of different board textures, or you have a set of standard sizes you want to use when running a sim, just save it so that you can use it for next time. So now click calculate and you'll immediately start calculating the GTO strategy. Alright, so on this board we can see at the moment button is mostly playing checks. There's a little bit of betting with some hands like sets, some overpairs, etc. But mostly we're playing checks on this board according to this grid. If you highlight over each combo like this, it will tell you which suit is betting or checking. It will show you the frequencies for the individual combos. Another way you can do this is just set it to strategy blocks divided. This will give you a little bit of a different view. So hands are organized from spade, heart, club, diamond in that order. And you can just see how each suit is playing. So if you look at The fourth suit, that would be the flush draws. This is a useful tool mainly when you're looking at boards like this or turn cards where there's some differences in individual combo strategy based on your suits. So nice and easy way to visualize that. But most people will be used to looking at the merged strategy block, and that's usually what I'm looking at. Next thing you can do is click on EV. EV will show you the highest EV hands and the lowest EV hands. This is a little bit different to equity, as we can see here. Equity does not always correlate to EV. Now let's click on the list view. So the list view shows you each combo individually. So you could scroll all the way down to look at every combo, but usually you'll want to be using this to actually type in specific type of hands. So for example, have a look at the syntax tools and enter a hand. So let's say we want to look at how air plays. We type in air, and we can see air is checking most of the time. Or we type in something like overpair. So overpair in this example, that would be OP, ace ace, and king king. You can see that we're actually betting kings here quite a lot, and that's mainly when we don't have either a diamond or a club. So another way to look at hand strengths is to actually look at different hand categories using the hand strength tool. So here I'm going to select all the over pairs and better. If we add in top pair, this increases our check frequency a bit. We look at now middle pair or weak pair, you can see that we are mostly checking these hands. Same goes for ace high. We have a flush draw that's checking a bit less. Same with the open-enders, combo draw. So this gives you a pretty good view of hand strength. And now we're going to go to the button strategy. So we click check node, go back to the strategy grid. And now we can pick a bet size option. So let's say I click on bet 3.8 or half pot. This will show the next strategy. So this would be the cutoff's response facing a bet. And right now you can see that this is put into a coin sizing. But if you click on the top right and click preferences, we can also change this to percentage. Other things you can do are set your card type and also change your bet colors. This is useful if you don't want to use like the same theme as me. So we've changed it now, and instead of seeing that bet number, you're seeing the bet size, but as a percentage of the pot. So yeah, pretty useful tool when you're looking at exact bet sizing option, or you get confused a bit by the chip denominations. So we click a bet and then we click call. So this gives us a turn menu, and here you can either select a turn card or run a full runouts report. A full runouts report will take a bit more time because you're running out every single turn card, but it will give you an overview of how to play every single turn. Again, you'll want to set up some bet sizes, so you can either use a custom tree or, for example, just click a medium tree. It will come up with some presets. In this example, I'm going to use a custom tree, and I'm going to use one of the preset sizes. So this one gives me some reasonable amount of bet size options. So 1/3 size for the button, 2/3 sizing. I'll add in the sizing here as well for pot. And then Since the cutoff check called, they're not really going to be leading large, so I'm just going to give 1/4 as their only sizing. Click build tree and calculate. So this takes us to the ace turn. Button is still mostly, the cutoff, is still mostly checking. And this is the button strategy. So again, I like to use the hand strength tool. So let's say we have sets or 2 pair plus or straights. We are mostly betting. If we have top pair, we're not betting as much, but we are still doing some betting. So usually gives you a pretty good way of visualizing the different hand classes that are betting rather than just looking at the grid. And I like to do this to just help me hone in on specific strategy in terms of hand strength. Now, next step that we might want to look at here is the node lock function. So just to briefly go over it, let's say the button bets and we are facing that bet as the cutoff. I want to find out if I'm exploitable. So let's say I get here, I have Jack 10 and I start to always fold it instead of call, or I'm a little bit too passive. How would my opponent exploit me? Let's have a look at that. So first of all, click on decision. So fold is just grayed out. So let's say I fold all my Jack 10 here, except for clubs. So I'll want to select Jack 10 of clubs and keep this in. So another thing you can do is select the suits. So let's just say I always fold Jack 10 offsuit and I always fold Queen 10 offsuit because I'm a little bit scared money. How hard would we get exploited for folding an extra 5% per solver? So we've selected the manual node lock, we've clicked decision, we've clicked on the individual combo. We'll go over some of the other functions for node locking in a different video, but just for now, we're going to explore this. So click on calculate. And there we go. Click on compare GTO. So how are we being exploited? Well, in this spot, what's happening is that compared to GTO, so this is GTO on the left, exploit on the right, there's a bit less checking, there's a bit less 1/3 bet size going on, and there's a few more Hammonds going into the 2/3 sizing, since that's the sizing that we're overfolding against. And if you want to dive into specific combos, you can do that with the side-by-side comparison. When the more extreme you node lock, the bigger of a deviation you're going to get. So this is a small adjustment, but the adjustment can get even bigger against people that overfold more. So that's it for the tree browser and the tree building. You can play around a bit more with the exploit tool. And then the next thing to go over is going to be the aggregation report.